like fucking Swiss Alp army engineer in the fucking 20s. And it's really just Alaska, like 3 years ago. Oh god, that was 4 years ago. Shit.
Ah, radio silence. Excellent.
Wait, what were we going? We recording?
I try. Well, I guess I'm not gonna do a fade in with a random conversation, but I was trying to, and then y'all shut up.
Yeah, we're
Alright.
waiting for you.
Yeah,
Because you put in the... Okay.
No, I meant I realized that. Anyway, I'm fucking stupid. I'm just gonna hit screen share.
Are we ball?
We are ball, and at any point I can edit out the start of this, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Alright.
Y'all getting a 720p, 15 FPS stream of Minecraft. There you go.
Merp.
Ah, woo. Alright, so, welcome to this god-awful podcast. Is it more of a chatter? What are we doing? Are we just, like, yelling into a PVC
We are
tube?
keeping the Soviet Union off our fucking space
right.
line.
We are indeed combating the forces of the nefarious red commies on the face of our moon. We put our flag there first. It's ours. Get out. Reds, get out. Anyways, yeah, so while I was at work, hammering away at whatever food-related problems that were confronting me, I started mentally drifting off into the movie ideas I've had. I've had plenty, over
Wait.
the years.
Observe. Wool engine. Round 2. It's over.
Wait, what?
The
What?
wool.
Was it another false start?
You broke
No.
my train of thought. I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking.
It's not a false start. What false starts? There's no
What
false
false
starts.
start? Is this in medias res again? Fuck. But no, I was sitting there and just started mentally drifting into my movie ideas that I've had for like the last 5 years because the boys over at the Black Pants Legion sure know how to plant brainworms in an ADHD case with a vivid imagination and a love for horrible B movies. So I revisited one of my favorites. So I came up with a series of movies that start off with Space Race 2, Operation Moonfight. And I best describe this as wire gun kung fu. That's like what I got with this. And it takes place on the moon in an alternate universe where it's like For All Mankind, but on a lower budget. And a lot more space.
Moon Edition.
It's basically like Kung Fu
Moonraker.
Kung Fu Moonraker. Yeah, Kung Fu Moonraker. I can't say that out the straight face.
Kung Fu Moonraker on the moon.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, instead of laser guns, though, like, you know, the plastic Uzi laser guns, I imagine these guys carrying, like, Beretta 92 stainless steel, like, variants Inoxes, like 92F Inoxes, and...
With the walnut grips.
With the walnut grips, Lugers, Luger PO8s, Makarovs.
And the blued slide to contrast with the stainless.
Oh, God, yeah. Blued slide to contrast with the stainless. Those are the Americans carrying those sidearms. The random people carrying Lugers are like technicians and like contractors. The people carrying the Makarovs and the Stechkins, of course, are the brave souls of the Soviet Union and the glories of communism.
And you have to have the ornery old general on site leading from the front because he's old and southern and fought in Space Nom 3, and he's just going every single setback in the plot. He's on scene saying, "This is not the initiative that kept the Soviet paratroopers off my goddamn lawn."
Sir, we are in the midst of a shooting war with the Soviets on Earth and on the moon. You never encountered these people. It won't matter if they push the button.
They built that crap out of scrap. We should have beat them 3 days ago.
So like, the whole thing surrounds like Moonbase Alpha on the light side of the moon, and opposing them about 5 miles to the south is the Soviet moon base. That has a very long, confusing Cyrillic pile of letters.
Moonbase Alpha with an F.
No, it spells out Lunar Research Perspective Exploratory Facility 1 Alpha. So yes, Moonbase Alpha. So this whole thing, they're in a standoff as the world is about ready to go to war. It's the late 80s, it's just before the collapse of the Soviet Union. And so the movie begins with the initial raids of the space Spetsnaz attacking. And yes, they're called space Spetsnaz. They are called Cosmo Spetsnaz, and they're like attacking with Stechkins and Kung Fu. So like when they start shooting at each other, all you hear is whoop 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 whoop. You don't even hear like gunfire. So like everything in vacuum kind of has like this. Like, it's not, you can't hear shit in vacuum, but we have to have, like, that emphasis on this is a gun shooting in vacuum. So it's like, whoop, 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 in vacuum from the outside, but, like, inside the helmet, you hear, like have you ever seen, like, gameplay of the space, like, the FPS that takes place over in a space station known as Boundary? They had to have that whole, or Infinite Warfare. But, Boundary and Infinite Warfare were another inspiration for this bad film, at least in the later stages, several years after I had the initial idea. So, like, these guys are engaging, they're fighting one another, and then, like, all you're hearing, since there is no, like, spoken lines, like, these guys are actually reading off a script, but like they're behind a helmet, so they're like wearing like 70s, 80s cosmonaut gear. The Russians, of course, are wearing wearing their red uniforms. Their red camouflage spaceman Spetsnaz uniforms. With the bubble with their helmets, and all you hear the entire time is they're barking out orders through comms. You don't actually get to hear the comms between the Americans, who are a group of Marines holding out against these guys, and the Spetsnaz. All you hear is
everyone has right? Charlie Brown voice.
Exactly. All you hear is Charlie Brown whop 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 the whole time, except for a salad bowl. Fucking AVA helmet. Like, it gets to a point where, like,
it's a direct rip from the Charlie Brown cartoons.
Exactly. Except we put it through, like, an echo and then filter it even harder, like it sounds like it's muffled behind a pillow. And as they're attacking the moon base, like back at the base, like, oh my god, they're attacking. The Soviets have finally blitzed and they're attacking. Repeat, we need backup. And then like the comms get cut off because there was like sabotage, and then suddenly everything shuts off.
And then from the dark side of the moon, here comes the World War II holdouts of the Germans that escaped with the steel chair.
No, that's not gonna happen here. It's the straight up the Soviets versus. Why is my alarm going off? Phone. Please.
It's the Space Germans.
I knew it was the Space Kaiser, man. I knew it was the Moon Kaiser. Anyways, so like this whole engagement, right? And I had this whole thing in my head that this whole like of these guys, like outside, the violence would just be muted and bloodless. So all you see like people floating away as they get shot, or like you hear two guys like kung fu and 0G and vacuums, like you see them go down, Like, nobody's helmets get smashed out. There's no violence on screen, but as soon as they get inside the moon base, Liz, you ever seen... I was going to ask you ever, like, seen, like, bits and pieces of the movie Ready or Not?
Maybe?
So imagine the blood and gore made out of cherry syrup and potato, and, like, banana bits, as everybody on the inside, that's what's going on. Like, that's where the violence comes in. Is like it goes inside the moon base, and you get all the 70s, 80s blood and gore going everywhere as people are beating the shit out of each other, like wire fooling. Like they're just.
You just see the stereotypical airlock door with a tiny window, and the dude standing there with a dial, and he just turns the dial one way very slowly, and the actor just hunches over and starts making noise, and then he whips the dial back, and all you see is just the sloppiest red spray paint can splatter over the window.
Exactly. So you get like the cherry syrup and the fucking banana bits just like sliding everywhere like in Ready or Not. Funny you mentioned that. That's
You can accidentally see the camera crew's hand after the red paint goes on with the banana peel sliding it around.
Like, that's the other thing too, is like I'm talking about like what could be a good movie, but what's gonna make it bad is just like the movie's made on like $0, so you could really tell that there's been a lot of efforts to cut corners, and most of it went to set dressing, blanks.
It's negative dollars, and the crew just wants to get it out, so people are contributing their own fucking money at this point.
Yes. It's all crowdsourced, you know, it's all fucking GoFundMe.
It's a communal sunk cost fallacy on set.
It's exactly what's going on. So, like, there's like this gunfight breaking out at this base, like the Soviet Union's finally attacking the United States on the moon. And like back home, the president has to make the decision to deploy the United States Space Marines. And he's like, "Sir, we have to make this decision now. But what about back here in Germany and America? You know, the Cold War balance must be maintained. No one will ever know that this war ever happened, Mr. President. Launch the shuttles." And so like both sides start launching shuttles towards the moon. And like in the meantime, there's just like the main character like steps out of a locker room, like all like haggard and breathing heavily after he beat the shit out of like this dude in a spacesuit. You know, he's all bloodied. He's got like the chiseled man face, you know. And he walks out, and it turns out he's not the main character because the main character is a femboy.
Lamau.
Lamau.
Yes, very much so. The two of them work together to like take the moon base back and then slide on their spacesuits, and they just go out and keep doing wire fu and gun fu the whole time. I'm just imagining like sequences where like they have a clear shot on somebody, but they throw away their rifle and then just start kicking the shit out of them and like drop, like you see them drop kick, so like the femboy goes like horizontal and floats through at 0G and just like kicks the man in the chest and he falls back spinning.
Yes.
There's sword fights going on in the background for no reason. There are tanks, but they're like Shermans kitted out with like NASA logo.
Lamau.
and the Soviets have like T-62s that are painted in obvious red camouflage on the fucking moon.
Yes.
Like the whole movie like spirals out of control. So like the battle for the moon is spiraling out of control. The space shuttles are finally landing. There's more troops being deployed. There's dudes like, you know, bicycle kicking each other. You got this guy who's like literally windmilling at somebody. Like he just like drops his rifle and starts windmilling at him. And the guy's like
and the footage is artificially sped up so it just looks derpy as hell, but they're actually trying to make it look like they're like going super speed.
Yeah, like dude's getting speed bagged. Just so like the whole film just like goes through that, but then like the second movie, Space Race 3: Moon Reconquista. The Spanish Empire has landed on the moon, and it is up to the forces of the Soviet Union and the United States to repel the Spanish conquistadors from taking the moon as they walk out off their space galleons, armed with their rapiers and their elaborate conquistador space armor.
And the Space Pope mobile tank with the Space Pope on board.
Exactly. They got the one dude landing on the landing with like this cross outstretched and like saying "In nomine Patria," you know, the whole thing, and then like
halfway through the plot when it looks like the tide's finally turned, and then suddenly the Spanish main just crash lands into the surface, wood decking and all, and just opens up broadsides.
Oh god, yeah, that's what I was thinking, is like these things have like rail guns and stuff. They're like strafing the environment, just like explosions and slugs going everywhere. There's like, oh, you know, it's like, oh god, what's going on? And the main femboy is sitting there with his M16A1, staring up at these ships and go like just like doing that whole like epic action movie pose, but you just have this really feminine dude who's like 5'8" with an M16 that looks way too large in his hands, just staring up into space. It's the beginning of the film, you know. And I like the concept that like the main antagonist, the Spaniard, is like this buff dude, like this buff, very like good looking dude. It's just like we just find some random telenovela actor, I guess, and like the two of them meet in their spacesuits, so you never really get to like see it that way. You know, like they don't like meet inside a ship just yet, but like the two of them. So you have this 5'8" femboy like beating, like trying to beat the crap out of this guy who's like 6'4", you know, standing over top of him.
Oh, no.
It just turns into a fucking mess. But like as the movie progresses, you could tell the budget keeps getting lower and lower until finally you notice that like everything's like bad stuff done in Sony Vegas to like cover up the fact that they ran out of blanks halfway through the movie. So like you have bad effects going on, Adobe After Effects with stock images and stuff.
People artificially adding the recoil while they act in the most overly dramatic way possible.
So like like a 9mm pistol recoiling like a 44 Magnum, and they're trying to add the muzzle flash and stuff.
Someone has a Ruger 1022 and they just fire it and they act like it's a 50 caliber flying out of their hand.
Is it not accurate for your wrist to snap every time you pull the trigger? Is that not how that works?
I mean, it just depends on how much.
Depends on how much. Yeah.
No, I meant just actual snap
into
like,
the air every shot.
Like a glow stick, or like a 2x4 on too much pressure. It just explodes.
You know the U.S. commander you brought up? He died in the first movie, so he's replaced essentially with a guy who's playing Walmart Harry Callahan, armed with a 44 Magnum, and he's just like waxing Spaniards into into the glass through a space station, and they're like, because it's the indoor sequences, the full blood and gore is on display as they're ripped out of their spacesuits, turned into like space sausage, you know.
When the old guy dies, it's because the actor literally died in scene from a heart attack.
Yeah, like.
And they were allowed to keep it in because his only next of kin was a great granddaughter from a trailer park that hated his guts and just wanted the movie right money. They're like, yeah, you can do that. You're paying me.
Oh yeah.
And the old guy even said, this movie's gonna come out or I'll die making it. And he dies making it. It gets a single award just for keeping that scene in, and then the people who awarded that just get all kinds of shit from activist groups.
You know, this is actually like the perfect time to be doing this stupid research bullshit.
I want the old man like from the first movie. I want him to be like a dude who kind of looks like Burgess Meredith from frickin' Grumpy Old Men, except he's wearing like an Apollo spacesuit, and then on the inside he's like still wearing like the 1940s U.S. general outfit, you know, with the patent flare, you know. So you got like this 90-year-old dude strutting around with like two nickel polished Colt pythons on his hips, you know.
8 Space Wars.
8 Space Wars, hell yeah. It's got these fancy, like, 8-inch barrel Colt pythons he just pulls out. Yeah, his replacement's just knock off Harry Callahan. And it just like, man's gonna know his limitations.
And they try to bring back the old man for like near the end of the second movie, but the guy's fucking dead, so they just get a completely different old man. And the whole plot twist is he comes back, saves the day, they get erased by the Spanish main broadside. But the new old guy they bring back that looks nothing like him, but he's the only guy that was willing to work for free on this. And he dies of a heart attack during the explosion from the Spanish main and utters his last words as the lines from the movie. And then dies like, oh my god, that was incredible. Wait, why isn't he...
Everybody was harmed in the making of this film, Liz. Everyone. So like there is another thing I wanted to bring up, because this is going to spawn a spin-off of this film series. So in the middle of the film, I have a helicopter, an Apache, flying around, and the pilot and his gunner, they're known as the best pilots in all of Vacuum, as they are formerly fighter pilots who fought in several like brush fire conflicts, came back, learned how to fly helicopters, became certified on choppers, and then were sent into space, flying their helicopters, Liz, in vacuum.
Yes.
This is important, by the way. So they come in last minute and just like strafe the hell out of the conquistador positions and allow the Soviets to like bum rush them, and just like you see nothing but like kung fu fighting and combat sambo going on, as like people being thrown over their shoulders, having their arms broke, swords being like locked and clashed with, like Cossack sabers versus rapiers.
Synth remix of kung fu fighting playing in the background.
And
played on one of those half-size Casios that don't have enough keys to actually do proper notes.
So we had something for Abra then. Good.
Do you have any words for the camera?
I am loving the idea of this entire podcast being like 75% me rambling, you guys kind of chiming in.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything? No. Okay. Sorry for bothering you. You can fuck off.
Like the fucking Homestar Runner keyboard.
Homestar Runner keyboard, yes.
My mom
so, like,
actually had one of those. It's great.
So like the gunships, the vacuum gunships clear the way for the Soviet troops to come in to support the American Marines who are embattled with the conquistador elite, and the commander is like knife fighting the femboy after the muscle man who was supposedly the lead character of the supposedly lead character of the movie, right? Like the movie series, like gets stabbed by him within 10 seconds of contact. He just like punches the shit out of him, pulls his knife out of his belt and just stabs him. So the femboy grabs the knife out of the guy's chest and just like points it at him like CQC pose. So it's like Metal Gear Solid 3 CQC the whole time.
When he finally takes him down, it's like all elegant and graceful and like overly choreographed. And then after the first stab, it just turns into a Smiling Friends skit where he just keeps stabbing him hundreds of times at high speed.
Just keeps stabbing him, and all you hear is like this guy irrationally gargling and screaming the whole time. And it keeps flashing between the vacuum Apaches, the vacuum Apaches, a bunch of like model Abrams tanks being blown up by like Spanish railgun armed galleons, but then the Abrams tanks counterfire and blow them up, and then there's like F-15s flying in vacuum. Flying in vacuum.
Yeah.
Shooting and destroying.
Well, you see, the lack of air resistance makes them faster.
Exactly. They'll be flying Mach 3 in no fucking time. But they're the lead for like the US space fleet to finally show up, which is just basically like a bunch of space rated like Oliver Hazard Perrys and Ticonderogas and a Nimitz class showing up to like destroy the last
Space Battleship New Jersey.
Space Battleship New Jersey, exactly. It has like as like Carl from Aqua Teen as the captain, ordering frickin' kill those guys.
The USS Johnston dredged from the deep, full of holes, missing half the hull, with a single Thompson mag getting loaded by the bridge crew in spacesuits. The single rusted shut Thompson mag left on the ship after the original battle.
Yeah. Like, you have, like, the Space Iowa opening fire, but then, like, Marines with jetpacks, like, coming off of the ship to raid the Spanish, like, some of the ships that have fallen out of formation to capture essential intelligence of personnel, And
as all the nerds in the audience would be screaming their head off about, why the fuck did you bring up the Johnston? It can't blah, 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 blah. And like, they know it, and the guy who's captaining it in the movie just says, like as the other dude's loading the Thompson, he just says, "You don't need a solid hull to float in space, boys."
Float in space, boys. So then, like, the main character, like, fighting the conquistador, and then, like, the space priest shows up, who, like, led the delegation, as they claimed the moon for them. They like tried to swing his cross at him, and the dude's like dodging him, and he's like dodging him and dodging him, and the guy's like screaming bald, as the guy who had been stabbed over 100 times is just like falling back and like screaming and dying, and then he's like, he just like grabs the femboy, just like throws him over his shoulder, and the guy just dies, just like falls on the floor and just dies.
Like the fucking guy exploding from goo oozing out of his clothes in the worm video.
Right? Just pop till the goo comes out. Yeah, like the main character finally walks up to the guy after he's been stabbed like 100 times. He's like, "You have anything to say for yourself, Spaniard?" He's like, "Go fuck yourself, gringo." And just like the dude throws the cross at the glass, breaks the glass, and the dude just like gets ripped out into the vacuum of space and just like splatters all over the lunar surface. And yeah, that's the third movie, is it like transitions to like blood and patriotism in the credits.
It's like freaking Event Horizon on a 50-cent budget tier getting sucked out of the suit effect.
Oh god, yeah.
We paid two whole dimes for that effect. That was more than the rest of the movie budget combined.
We just basically took a bunch of nitrile gloves, Stretch Armstrongs, and bologna, and
filled it with red corn syrup.
And pushed it through. Pushed it to the glass of the suit. So he survives, and then we finally get to it. The one that I was telling you guys about. Space Race 4. The Moonami Within. So are you familiar, Liz, with the Steven Seagal film series Under Siege?
Yup.
Well, imagine Under Siege, but in a space shuttle, and for some reason the space shuttle has like more decks than the UNSC Pillar of Autumn.
But all the external footage is stock images of Columbia.
Yes. Stock images of the Columbia renamed to the Space Shuttle Freedom. And so this isn't the femboy. This is a different agent altogether. This is an American.
And they use the actual Columbia re-entry disaster as footage for the ending.
The ending of the film, referring to the second film, is American Marines. American Marines are coming back home from the Lunar War, the third Lunar War. Actually, we don't talk about the other two. And sadly, some did not make it. The femboy from the second film, the femboy from the films, he survives, but he is running for president against the current incumbent president. So that's going on, right? So, the incumbent president loads up on a space shuttle, right? That's called the Freedom, which is just Columbia. As you and I agree, it's just Columbia. Everyone's wearing the orange spacesuits, like the orange flight suits, except it's like they're just the pumpkin suits, yes, except they're like a combination of the pumpkin flight suit, but also like EVA suits and the Apollo suit. They just look so fucking wonky and stupid, And we have like a parody. We have like during the launch, there's like this like badly done cover rendition of Starseed by Our Lady Peace playing in the background as they launch. It'll make sense. Just work with me on this, because it worked in Armageddon, Yeah. And so as it's taking off, the space shuttle launches, and the agent, who is this man who has worked for the CIA for decades and doing regime change around the world against communism, is sitting there back on the job after he'd been dragged out of rural Missouri from his quiet life of corn and disappointment. Gets on board, and he's like, "Mr. President, Vice President, Mr. President," again, as he walks past. And like I said, has like the space shuttle, for some reason, it's cavernous, even though it's like everything's a regular stock image of the space shuttle. It's for some reason this whole thing's cavernous. It's got like hundreds of decks, and it's got a bridge, And he's like, "Okay, I assume, Agent, that you've been briefed on the situation." "Yes." Situation on the moon is tense, and I am going there on a diplomatic mission to strike peace with us and the Soviet Union, as well as the USSR back on the planet. Yes, I understand the mission, sir. And as they launch off, a bunch of guys that are on the side of the vice president seize the space shuttle, and no one knows that the vice president is on there. Even though the vice president looks like the most obvious scumbag on the planet, it's like telegraphed from a mile away. Like it's just telegraphed from a mile away. Like you can see that this guy is evil. It takes over
and
the
everyone's
space
talking
shuttle.
about how much of a great, trustworthy, honorable man he is.
You know, Senator McDirtbag. Senator McDirtbag Terrorist Esquire the second.
Johnny J. Backstabber, a man
Johnny
you can
J.
trust.
Backstabber, man you can trust, exactly. Now the president has like a generic last name. He's like President Smith or something like that. President Adam Smith. Adam Jonathan Smith.
Smithers
President
and
Cornwall
Smithings.
Campbell.
Cornwall. That's the name of his dog.
Yes.
Because we have to hook something in for the kids. You have to have the dog, you know.
Don't tell the American people this, but my dog is the real president. The
He's
real
definitely
spiritual leader of this country.
Oh, then that means we have to have a kid in the film. Oh no, you just fucking screwed us here. So
No, it's not a real kid. It's a midget playing a kid with the worst 7 o'clock shadow.
Oh god, yeah. Like he looks like this dude who smoked like 5 or 6 packs, you know?
And he's overdubbed by some random lady from the audio crew.
Oh my god, yeah.
But they didn't remove his voice all the way, and he spoke all the lines, so it's like half-assed over his actual voice.
Yeah, it's like watching like some of those like Netflix movies that were made in Spain or a couple other like foreign films where you can obviously tell they're speaking the language of the native language of that country, right?
Yeah.
But you could tell that it's so badly dubbed that there's like delays in between speech. You could see there's differences in how they're like, you know, how
like the
they're
Spanish dub of Star Wars 4.
I was also thinking of the movie The Platform, which is another Spanish film. And there were just some parts where like the main character Gorang is talking with the man that he's sharing space with, and you could really tell that there's like delays, like some delays and some kind of jankiness with how they're interacting, and you're like, yep, this is definitely the film. This is definitely the dub of all time. But like, yeah, I was thinking about like just how like all this is interacting in the film, you know, like the midget, you had like the midget playing the kid, you know, he's like, oh man, I like dogs, all right, and just having, like you said, the Labby go, who was it? What woman was doing the voice again?
Janet from the film crew.
Janet from the film crew.
Audio crew from the audio studio.
The
audio studio is just the Streamliner aluminum trailer they found at the junkyard. That's
it's an Airstream. It's an Airstream. Yeah,
junkyard Airstream is the audio studio with the worst acoustics.
With the worst acoustics, so it sounds echoey and like just really tinny.
All of her overdub work for him just sounds like it was spoken into a salad bowl. And it's not properly synced with the spoken lines either.
Nope, hell no, it's not dubbed in properly or synced. It is just raw audio dumped onto the track, and you can still hear the guy like talking in the background that they're trying to like mask over.
Yes. To mask over it, they just made her voice louder than everything else in the scene and artificially lowered the volume of the scene when he speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yay!
Dab. Yeah.
Dab harder.
So like the agent is working with the kid and the dog, you know. The dog is oh fuck, well, who is it, like Cornwall shit. He's the real president though in our heart, you know. The dog is the real president.
Cornwall Campbell.
Cornwall Campbell, the puppy dog. You know, like the dog is like golden retriever because for like how America just oozes over golden retrievers. So we have a golden retriever.
It's a wiener dog
Oh, is it
dressed
a
up
wiener
like a
dog?
golden retriever.
It's a wiener dog dressed up like a golden retriever because the cameraman's golden retriever bit the fucking the film editor when he leaned over to pet him.
So they had to
Sent
get
home.
they had to get Karen's wiener dog.
Karen's wiener dog has to wear a golden retriever costume. So like
Yes.
the agent finds out the president has been taken hostage, and there's terrorists rushing through multiple floors of the space shuttle. Multiple floors of the space shuttle. They're in the cargo
And
base.
jump cuts. Oh yeah. Oh no, towards the end. So the way that they get out of it, the president escapes in the escape shuttle on board the space shuttle's cargo bay, right? And they're halfway to the moon base. They contact the moon base. This is after the Columbia already blew up, coming back in with the evil VP on and all that. So they're going towards the moon base, and they contact him, right?
Yeah.
And all they see on the view screen is, let me send a thing. All they see on the view screen is a fucking lizard flipping them off over the CRT from the base command center.
Mother of God.
Like
It
the
just
one I
cuts
just-
to black. It just
Yes.
cuts to black and it goes to the credits. Thank you for jumping me through that because like I kind of meandered there a bit. I apologize.
Oh, good.
Oh no,
But, like, 'cause-
meandering on this podcast.
Oh God, yeah, right. I forgot where I was for 20 seconds. Which is kind of common for someone who comes back from, working 8.5 hours. So like I had like some other like dumb film titles I put up in my head, Liz, like 747, The Only Way Up is Down. The Only Way Out is Down. 747, The Only Way Out is Down. And it's a film that's like Air Force One and Under Siege, but it takes place on a 747 that's being hijacked by terrorists, and the whole thing is filmed in a shopping mall, being representative of the aircraft and the multiple rows of seating, even though they're like running up and down staircases and running into, abandoned stores and stuff. And somehow a Navy SEAL team is inserted through the top of the aircraft, and they fast rope in, even though it's supposed to be a moving aircraft, and they just start engaging the terrorists.
And the U.S. military didn't actually get a copy of the script. They just saw it was it looked like it glorified them rescuing the president, so they got actual backing for personnel from the Navy and the Air Force. But neither party knew they were actually, the other one was involved. So the SEAL team keeps saying Share Force the entire time.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then the Air Force, the airmen on the Air Force One keep referring to them as Gravy SEALs.
Oh my God. One of my favorite ideas for this though is I created the character John Talbot. John Talbot is a 47-year-old thrice divorced accountant. He's never been a man of action. He's always kept his head down. He doesn't want to think about having to deal with extreme situations. But here comes Mr. John getting thrust into a situation in which he has to die hard his way out and becomes a hardened killer at the end of the film, engaging in killing the terrorists and working with like three of the 6 surviving SEALs to take the plane back over. And like the terrorist is like some vague, you don't understand like what ethnicity he's supposed to be. Sometimes he acts Russian, sometimes he's Middle Eastern, sometimes he's German. No one knows who this guy is.
His ethnicity is enemy combatant.
That's he'll be listed in the credits, by the way, enemy combatant. Like, we're not actually going to give him a name. He's just there.
Enemy combatant - evil.
Yes. And like John walks in with his with his MP5 drawn, because this is the 1990s. Any movie involving special forces has to have an MP5. So he's sitting there with his MP5 drawn, it's got like the surefire weapon 4 light, and he's like weapon forearm light. It's like flashes it in the face of the main main antagonist. It's like, so what do you have to say for yourself, American? You didn't save anyone. Everybody on this plane died. And he's like, yeah, I got one thing to say. Up yours. Just starts gunning him down and just like, oh, just getting bullets riddled through his body as he's pushed into the control panel of the plane, and the 747 begins
Straight
to
up
nosedive.
McBain here.
Just McBain, just getting his body filled with lead as the plane begins to nosedive. The canopy busts out, and the guy like just gets like, there's a burst of wind, and the dude flies through the cabin, down the row, out and into the back of the plane, killing the flight attendant who was supposed to be the love interest. It's the guy. I mean, when she gets hit, you know how you're talking about in like with Space Race 2 and Space Race 3 and 4, how we had like people just exploding into bits of like cherry syrup, banana bits, and various fake gore. Yeah, that's what happens when they collide. And John has to pull the plane up, and the two SEALs are trying to help him out. The one guy falls out of the front of the plane somehow and like gets caught in the engine, so they lose an engine. We're gonna make
And they have the cheesiest mulch effect. Like the GTA 5 mission where the lady gets sucked into the engine.
You know.
And it's just red mist on the other end.
Yeah, red mist flying out and staining the side of the 747.
Red mist
like,
and a burnout.
The remaining terrorists are like rushing up through what was a Sbarro in the mall, but it's like the lower deck of the plane, so like they like rushing up a staircase, you know?
Okay, but Sbarro legit has good ham and pineapple because they have bacon bits on it. It's really good.
I want to try that. I have never actually went to a Sbarro to eat before, Scarab. We should do that someday. Like curse an entire Sbarro with our presence. Us, you know, the two. You get the two girls, a Beeble, and we'll go curse a Sbarro. We'll see how far this takes us. You could take me to Hot Topic, and I can get pretty things after.
You're just a little Hot Topic slut, like.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I know I'm a Molgoth slut. But like back to the plane, right? They're just like up. They like the guy pulls the plane up, and the terrorists just in time, like bust through the upper deck and start like shooting everywhere wildly with MP5s, AKs, and like there's at least one guy with a really kitted out M4, even though it's the 90s. You know, mag dumping everywhere. There's a lot of anachronistic guns lying around in this movie. And there's like a crummy cover of a Korn song being played on a Casio keyboard and like trash can lids, you know, as the guy.
Same Casio keyboard from the last 3-4 movies.
Yes. And he bursts out of the plane. He bursts out of the cabin as the plane goes into level flight and autopilot. And he says like, an MP5 starting off, pulls out two Berettas, empties the Berettas, throws them away, pulls out two PPKs, but then decides those aren't enough, and starts beating the shit out of people with his fists, you know?
The level of
turns into a Kung Fu movie.
The level of tech gore on that keyboard is going to be horrific.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how many... So where is this keyboard placed? Because how many drinks are going to be spilled on this keyboard? Is drinks, sweat. Oh my god, just the actor sweating to death over this keyboard.
Oh god,
yes,
yeah.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
All of that and more.
So like the dude gets into a kung fu fight, starts like beating the shit out of people, you know? And like escapes the plane even though it's flying level. He escapes the plane with his parachute on and explodes in midair. So him trying to save the plane was pointless. The main antagonist is dead. All the terrorists are dead. He's still divorced 3 times. John Talbot, a genuine American action hero.
This is the keyboard that does the soundtrack for every movie.
Oh no.
This is the only keyboard. This is the only source of audio for all of the movies' music.
For context, everyone in audio land, this is a Casio SK1 with it's a sampling keyboard. That's what I'm staring at.
It's a quarter of an actual keyboard with one singular speaker and another speaker that totally isn't a microphone. That's like like not even an eighth the size of the main speaker.
Why does this sound like an upgraded Play School keyboard from the 90s?
It's actually from the 80s, and it's an upgraded Play School keyboard that cost, according to my mom, over $100 in 1980s money.
God.
And she got it for a steal at $25 at a pawn shop, and she had to negotiate for it back in 1989.
89. What the fuck? This looks so cheap. Look at that peak 80s plastic. Look at that. Just
so this is a stock one I found, a stock image I found on the internet. The one mom has is in way better shape, and she is so proud of that shitty ass keyboard. And it sounds identical to the one used in Homestar Runner. I'm convinced this is the keyboard they had making those flash animations.
Okay, so the Casio SK1 actually looks good. The one that you had is just absolute dog shit compared to the SK1 that I just pulled up.
It's a
okay. So the cheap TV plastic, the cheap like RCA TV plastic actually looks no, it's a cheap symphonic television recycled into a keyboard.
It's a shame.
Yes.
It's a shame. It's a shame Abra's still stuck in whatever planar dimension doesn't have any network connection, because our local audio expert isn't here for Casio talk.
Fuck your Wizard War. I cast Jackal.
Oh my god.
I feel like she'd either have just feral rage over this, or she'd be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
So this just becomes the Abra and Jackie cast, because Jackie's talking about films, and meanwhile Abra is just like synth, industrial synth. And you guys are chiming in, you know.
The If Only Abra Was Here podcast.
No, I synth. I can synth. I don't synth as hard.
I don't. One of my favorite like thoughts I had for like because like all of my stuff just seems to really like riff like it's kind of like a love letter / demented parody / mockery of wire fu, gun fu movies and like action movies like Mission Impossible, Under Siege, and Broken Arrow, because I just love that stupid shit. And I also like sci-fi films like I do like Event Horizon. That was a hell of a film, watching Jurassic Park mans get exposed to the warp.
I can never actually watch movies like that. I only know it for its reputation and a few gifs. I refuse to actually sit down and watch it.
You're probably better off if you're a little squeamish, honey. Paul Wes Anderson.
I can't sit through Jurassic Park, the original one. I cannot watch that movie.
Is it Paul
Squeamish is an understatement for the reptile.
Yes.
Paul W.S. Anderson, in his work on that movie, I appreciate him. I know that he gets so much shit thrown at him over the Resident Evil film series, which, by the way, I love those movies. I don't care if it's an excuse to have Mila Jovovich carry 2 Vector submachine guns and tight-ass latex bodysuit. Do you see me fucking complaining? No. I don't care. He wants to see his wife and that stuff armed with machine guns. That's fine. I get to watch things die. Mortal Kombat, that's the one that popped into my head, was the Mortal Kombat movie. Is another one that I was like, cause we were talking about Event Horizon. And another one that pops in my head is his earlier film, Mortal Kombat, which was really fucking good. And then I remembered in my head, because I'm an idiot with lots of attention deficit and Molgoth trappings, Street Fighter. Any of you guys watched the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie? It's like Raul Julia's last performance.
I've only seen clips of the bad guy speech.
Oh yeah, Bison.
Yes.
Yes, for Bison, it was a Tuesday. I watched that in VR with my friends. They were just like flabbergasted and floored at how bad it was. And I'm like,
Yes.
what? Raul Julia is just having the time of his life. and you could
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
game over.
Lamau.
You were so excited your mic died.
I have like I don't like for someone like for me talking about movies and wanting to do bad movies, I don't know. I don't like watching a lot of newer movies. I like going back and watching all the stupid shit from the 80s and 90s and then watching actual like some serious movies, you know.
A movie's so nice they remade it thrice.
Oh god, if I could like okay, the person who did the RoboCop remake should honestly be tried and jailed.
Lamau
Damn.
walks into room. Ah!
I'm a black bag him. Black bag him, drag him off to a secret court.
Undiscernible screaming, RoboCop said calmly. The what was it called? The I Am the Law remake from the 2000s. That one was really good though.
The Dread movies are
That
good.
one.
Yeah, the Carl Urban Dread movies are good. Like that nailed the overall tone and feel of the darker side of those comics. Whereas, I want to say about Stallone. Stallone's rendition of it kind of captures the campiness and how outlandish the setting actually is. Whereas the more grimdark elements kind of fall into the urban films. So you have like the dichotomy there.
One of my friends, when I was in an old Arma group that had like a bunch of people from different countries, when the movie Dread came up in a conversation, the one guy who lived in South Africa just straight up said, "Oh yeah, that movie's a perfect documentary about Johannesburg."
I had a dog sitting client who kind of had this look on his face. It kind of reminded me of the Pedro Pascal meme because I was asking him if he was going to Joburg, and he kind of just looks at me with a chuckle. It does fit the Pedro Pascal face. Yeah, he just had that look in his face the whole time, laughing a little bit. He's like, "No, I lived out in the countryside. I lived on a ranch. I'm a naturalist. I'm going to the northern portions of the country. I'm staying with family."
Back of his mind, like, Jesus, fuck, do not go there.
Just don't go there. Don't go there. His wife's like, "Oh, I'm from Joburg. It's not such a bad place."
Me and Tex telling the Ox about Detroit, saying it's not really that bad as Detroit burns behind us.
Oh, look, you and I and Tex will defend Detroit up and down. Yeah, so what? Well, Milwaukee Junction looks like somebody tried to eat it, but I walked around there in the dark after I got some Faygo, and I was perfectly fine.
I refuse to defend Detroit because I don't want people gentrifying it.
Oh my god, yeah, fuck. But Chumba aside,
Teehee.
Teehee Chumbawamba. What really gets me about like film remakes is like it either tries to go way too serious or it just like completely fumbles everything and decides to be like the Cliff Notes version of the film it's trying to remake.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that for the Halo remake, by the way, because somehow we're finally getting a Halo remake.
No,
Are we that old?
This
yet?
is
Are we
this
that
is
old?
another Halo 1 remake. They already remade Halo 1. They're making another Halo 1.
Yeah, but I just don't count the remaster as a remake. Like
Halo 1 2, the next Halo 1.
Halo 1 3. Halo 1 3 AI Boogaloo is
Halo 1 3, AI continued 3.
AI continued 3. Halo 4.
Oh
Give
my
me
god,
that
wait.
chip beef!
Halo 1 3. Cortana's actually an AI now.
Oh my god. Like I said, Halo 4. Give me that chip, chief! You can't have my waifu! You can't have my waifu!
People are gonna jailbreak that Cortana so fast.
She's real to me!
Yep.
They are gonna make that fucking thing say some vile shit,
Yep.
or it's gonna be like a role play.
That'd be the second AI Microsoft had to shut down for getting 4chan.
Oh, yeah. Current AI, like, research and whatever is like, she's back. The one Microsoft
She's
shut down is back again.
Oh, the one from way back before the actual craze.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what I
like
mean. The
the
one that
actual, like the thing that they put out, like
No,
the
I meant
actual
the
Cortana assistant.
no, the pattern has returned. Like her existence was foretold, and her yeah.
I'm sitting back and thinking about like Halo, the Halo franchise, and just now thinking about that Halo remake that I watched the trailer for, and I'm like, okay, this looks a little cheap. Why is it that everything in UE5 right now looks cheap?
Dude,
Like, I just had that question. Why does it look cheap? I thought this was supposed to be like,
do not
cutting edge.
look that the rabbit hole of the current game dev market is why. It's just a lot of why. And um
The current game dev market makes Chrysler management look efficient.
Yeah, you're
Probably.
talking like what, pre or post Ayakoka?
Yes.
But yeah, there's a reason I haven't.
Pre-Iacocca, post-Daimler.
Hi.
Oh my
if,
god,
if
Cerberus?
if anyone's
Honey.
looking for a game recommendation, the new Isopod game by the webbed dev is excellent, very cute, much recommend.
Has Dairy Cows 10 out of 10.
Jackie recommends that you all check out Cirrus Pendrake's work and buy the following games: Attica and Project Silverfish. Play a Half-Life. Play a Half-Life clone.
Attica's
Yeah.
good.
Akadaka.
Akadaka, yeah, Attica's fucking great. I love Attica. It's a fun like Half-Life,
Kill
like,
everything with gravity.
Kill everything with gravity. It's very much a Half-Life 2 tribute
Yep.
in its own right. And then you have
doesn't.
Project Silverfish.
It brings that vibe very
Aren't
good.
they in the same universe too? Like one's a prequel?
No, one is set in a different universe, but the connections are there and present. The most prominent being the main one of the main antagonists. Antagonists are like one of the characters who kind of plays into some of the backgrounds of the antagonist factions or individuals, and that's Aiden Savlo of the Savlo Corporation or Savlo Industries.
Yeah, because I read somewhere that it was like just a different planet and possibly a different time.
Yeah. Because, like, the whole, like, Threshold incident and the creation of the West Carcosa exclusion zone it kind of feels like its own story, and, like, the rivalry between the NFTA and the Eastern Defense Pact, that kind of feels like its own universe, but at the same time, there is this just one dude in the middle of all of it who's connecting both universes or both games in some way. But, like, yeah, seriously, go check out Cirrus Pendrake's work. The man deserves... The individual person, a lizard merp, deserves plenty of love, and you should go play a really, really good indie first-person shooter. That and Sulaco. Go check out Sulaco. Put a machine gun on the back of the fucking Roomba.
Lizard Merped sounds like a biography made about me after I die. That's just the most bizarre avant-garde art student's project ever, 50 years after the fact.
Is it in sepia tone?
Yes, with every single fade-out effect known to man.
Yeah.
And another great game that everyone will like. It needs no introduction. It has no tutorial because you just need to accept your fate. OpenTTD.
Oh, OpenTTD. Yes.
OpenTTD, one of the best games ever created. It doesn't get better. We arrived. We arrived 30 years ago.
This looks ridiculous, amazing, cursed, and somehow I love the artwork, the art style of this. It looks so pixely and intricate.
Oh, if you're looking at
Da-da-da.
OpenCD, it's by the guy that does Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, this is what he made before that.
Yes.
Business simulation game. So it's oh my god, it's actually free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
this is the open source version.
And it's the open
yeah,
source, yeah.
yeah,
Much
because
like
he's actually
OpenRA.
cool.
and it's infinitely superior to the originals, which the maker even said, "Oh yeah, no, those things are dated. This thing's way better.
Lol, Lamau even.
It
No,
runs better. It has more features. It's just better, and you can
No,
import the original assets."
why can't I remember his name? But no, that guy is super cool.
Have you two attempted to create sewage power in City Skylines?
I think I did once, but City
don't own
Skylines
City
doesn't really
Skylines.
grab. It doesn't really
Oh, yeah.
grab
What
me.
have we learned that
No, it doesn't really
what have
work.
we learned today that
'Cause I know,
Jackie
like,
has
Martin
amazing
Cedo
lung
tried to do the
capacity
Pucano,
and
and it just shut up,
destroyed
and,
the city. Open
Considering
TTD
Considering
We did it. We
Jackie's
saved
other
the city.
considering Jackie's
Pucano
other hobbies,
looming
lung
overhead.
capacity is
The
Oh,
not
was that
surprised.
RT?
Oh, it is Chris Sawyer.
Was that the Rumble Tumble guy? The Irish dude that just manically filled a volcano and then carved the side off when he realized he was gonna fail.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Wololo. Wololo. Wololo.